Hi, this is Teacher Dairo. So let's learn how to add and subtract decimals. So addition and subtraction of decimal. Alright, example 1. 85.29 had 2.5. Alright, so if you have questions like this, it's advisable to use your values, your place values. Alright, so let's indicate the values of each digit there. This is ones, this is tens. Alright, after the decimal point, the first digit should be addressed as tenths. There's nothing like ones, so it is tenths. And after that, it is hundredths. So hundred after hundreds, then it is thousands, 10,000, and the likes. Alright, so after that, let's indicate the value of the other part. So the 2 is the ones, and the 5 after the decimal points is the tenth. So after knowing this, then it is very easy for us to arrange. So 85.29. Don't forget that your 9 is hundreds. Okay, now you go back to the second set of digits here, 2.5. So first of all, you locate your decimal point. It must be equilibrium. It must be the same thing. Like it must align. The decimal points must align. Alright, after that, before the decimal point, do not forget that the value of 2 right here is 1. So we put it under the ones, the 2 will be under the ones. Now the 5 is the tenth. So you put the 5 under the tenth, and 2 is the tenth here. Thereafter, you can add together. Alright, so 9 plus nothing is 9. 2 plus 5 is 7. Your decimal point comes down. Then 5 plus 2 is 7. 8 plus nothing is 8. So that means you answer it 87.79. Don't forget, after the decimal point, you pronounce each digit one after the other, like 87.79, not 87.79, no, 87.79. Alright, let's take another example. 3.425 add 89.5. Alright, a situation like this, if you have digits like this, you still go the same way. You arrange very well. Make sure you identify the values. This 3 is the ones. This 4 is the tenth. The 2 is hundredths. And the 5 is the thousandths. Do not forget. Alright, and this 8 with the 9. So let's start from the 9. The 9 is ones, and the 8 is tens. Alright, after the decimal point, the 5 will be tenths. Alright, So now let's put them in a column method. 3.425. I will always advise you to leave enough space so as to make your calculation neat and to avoid mistake. So after that, first of all, you need to locate your decimal points and let your decimal points be aligned. So you locate your decimal points here. So before the decimal points, I'm having 9 to be ones. You put it under the ones. 9. And 8 is tens. But there's no tens in this number, in this upper digit. So I'm going to create the tens here. The 8 will not be here. So if I like, I can just replace the tens on this upper part using the 0. It's optional anyways. So, and if I like, I can just choose to remove it. You still get the same answer. Alright, after the decimal point, do not forget we have tenths there. You put it down there. So let's add together now. So 5 plus nothing is 5. 2 plus nothing is 2. 4 plus 5 is 9. Decimal point. Then 3 plus 9 is 12. Write your 2, then keep your 1. Do not forget. Then 1 you are keeping plus the 8 turns 9. So that means your answer will be 92 decimal point 925. Alright, now let's look at the subtraction part of it. 8.42 subtract 1.975. Alright, so do not forget to locate your values. 8 is ones, 4 is tenths, and 2 is hundredths. Alright, leave enough space, do not forget. Alright, so subtract by 1.975. So 1 here is the ones. You put under the ones 1. Okay. The 9 is the tenth. You put it on. Don't forget the decimal point must be aligned. Decimal point must be aligned. Make sure your decimal point is always under each other like this. Okay. So 9 will be put under this. 7 right here. And 5 will be left out because on the upper digits here, we don't have thousands. So I'm going to create thousands down there. And if I like, I can just replace this one using 0. Alright. So after you've done that, then you begin to subtract. Alright, so what is 0 take away 5? You cannot do that, obviously. You cannot do 0 take away 5. So what are you going to do? You borrow 1 from the 2. If you borrow 1 from the 2, what are you going to have? Then the 2 turns to 1, and the 1 you borrow from the 2 goes to the 0, becomes 10. Alright. So this now turns to 10. Alright. So, and this one turns to 1. So 10 take away 5 is 5. Okay, this time I cannot do 1 take away 7. So I have to take away 1 from the 4. If I take 1 from the 4 turns to 3. And this one turns to 11. So 11 take away 7 will give you 4. So after that, you have 3 take away 9. You cannot do that. So you go to the 8. So that will be 7. So the one you take away from the 8, you give it to this 3, becomes 13. So 13 take away 9 will now be 4. Then you have the decimal point down there. 7 take away 1 is 6. So your answer should be 6.445. 6.445. Alright, let's take a look at another example. 8, 5, decimal point, 7, 2, subtract 9, decimal point, 8. Alright, so do not forget, locate your values for each number is there. For each number, you locate your value. So 8, 5, decimal point, 7, 2. Alright, I know that my 5 here is the ones, the 8 is the tens, and also 7 is the tenths, while 2 is the hundredths. So after that, do not forget, after you've written the first digits, the first set of digits there, the second thing you're going to do, make sure you put your decimal point in such a way that it must be equal to the first one. Alright, after you've done that, then before the decimal point right here, it was 9. So you put the 9, and 9 is ones. So you put it under the ones, which is the 5. After the decimal point, you put your 8 under the tenth, because the 7 here is the tenth. So I have to put my 8 here. Then you put a subtraction sign. So if I like, I can just, not to have this one empty, I can put down 0, doesn't count. So put down 0 here, so as to fill all the empty space. All the empty spaces can be filled with the zeros. Still the same thing. Alright, after you do that, then you do 2 take away 0, that's 2. Alright, then you cannot do 7 take away 8. So what you need to do is to borrow the 1 from the 5 turns to 4. And this one becomes 17. So 17 take away 8. 17 take away 8 is what? So if I do 17 take away 8, that should give me 9. Alright, then you put your decimal point down. So 4 take away 9 cannot be done. So I have to borrow the 1 from the 8 right here. If I take 1 from the 8, 8 turns to 7. Then 1 goes to the 4, becomes 14. So 14 take away 9 should be 5. So 7 take away 0 is 7. So your answer should be 75.92. Alright, you can try this. Alright, now let's take a look at this. What if we have whole number subtract by decimal, or decimal subtract by whole number? For instance, 85 subtract 2.65. Same way, this is whole number 85, the 5 is ones and the 8 is 10. So you put the 8 is tens, the 5 is ones. So you put it down, make sure you leave enough space. There's no decimal point. Alright, after you've done that, then you put your subtraction sign there. So there's no decimal point, so how can I locate my decimal point? So you, with the help of the values, this 2 is the ones. So you put the ones under the 5. So the 2 will be under the 5 because the value of the 2 is ones and the value of this 5 is ones. Alright, after that, I know that after the 2 right here, it is decimal point, so you put the decimal point here automatically. decimal point must be here. So with the help of the values, you can locate where the decimal point should be. I realize that the 2 right here is the 1s and the 5 is 1. So I put the 2 under the 5. Then I know the decimal point follows. I put the decimal point there automatically. Then this up one we have decimal point. After you've done that, then you put down your 6, then your 5. So because of that, you need to create values for this as well using the 0, 0. Alright, after you've done that, you can as well use 0 for this as well, not to have anything empty. So let's work it out. 0 take away 5 cannot be done, so I have to borrow 1 from the 5 right here, because I cannot even go here. This is also 0, so I cannot take away 1 from 0. It's not possible. So I have to take 1 from the 5. So if I take 1 from the 5 turns to 4, and the 1 goes directly to this 0, because it cannot just jump from this side to the other side of this 0. No. So you have to take the process. If I take the 1 from the 5 turns to 4, then the 1 goes to the 0 right here before coming to this part. So if the 1 comes to this side, becomes 10. Then I have to take the 1 from this 10 turns to 9, and I give the 1 to this 0. So this one now turns to 10. So 10 take away 5 is 5. Then 9 take away 6 is 3. Put the decimal point there. 4 take away 2 is 2. Then 8 take away 0 is 8. So your answer should be 82.35. Okay, now let's take the last example. What if you have the decimal subtract by whole number? Something like this. 7.21 subtract 5. How can we do this? Same way, using column method, locate your values. The 7 is a 1, so put there 7 decimal point 2 1. After that, do not forget this is also 1, so you locate it under the 1s. 7 is a 1, so you put this 5 under the 7 and you subtract. But you cannot leave others empty, so you can do dots. You put, they must be the same thing. Don't forget, make sure your decimal points are always aligned. Alright, so after that, you want to fill all these empty spaces. So you have to put 0, 0 there. Then 1 subtract 0 is 1, 2 subtract 0 is 2. Decimal point comes down, then 7 subtract 5 is 2. So your answer should be 2.21.